Guys, I've got some good news because Fernando Alonso is going to Aston Martin. I thought I was on drugs when I saw this announcement because there is no way that this is true. So Fernando Alonso has perhaps made the worst career decision in his entire life, because why would you go from a competitive midfield team into a back market team? It doesn't make any sense. And look at the constructor standings. Alpine are 4th, whilst Aston Martin are 9th. Isn't that already a red flag to join this team already? This guy is literally switching teams left, right and centre. He started in Minardi, then went to Renault, won 2 championships with them, then went to McLaren, then left McLaren for Renault again, then went to Ferrari, then left Ferrari, went to McLaren again, then he quit the sport, then joined back for 21 in Alpine, who are essentially Renault. And yeah, now he's joining Aston Martin. This is just a bit of a madness right here. To be honest, most of his career choices were very unlucky, especially his second stint at McLaren, which, he was promised really good fortune there, and well, it all just turned into hell for him. Literally engine problems every single race, the car was slow, and with that infamous radio in Japan 2015 where he calls the engine a GP2 engine, basically a Formula 2 engine, that's how slow it was. And I feel like this whole thing is going to repeat again. He's claiming that he's hoping to fight at the front with Aston Martin. I don't know what type of cocaine he's been smoking. There's no way, with the current state of this team, he's going to be fighting at the front. You have a higher chance of winning world championships if you go to McLaren or Alpine. I'm genuinely lost for words from this announcement because it was such a huge shock. But with the departure of Sebastian Vettel from that team, because he's retiring, which is really sad, I think that, they wanted an experienced driver, which is what they always wanted. Even back in 2020, when they were called Racing Point, and this is when they were an actual good team, and when they kicked out Perez, who's ironically now in a top tier team, they wanted an experienced driver, which they got in Sebastian Vettel. And since he's leaving, they wanted another experienced driver. I thought they would have gone for Nico Hülkenberg. He's been with the team for a long time, ever since they were, called Force India, and plus he's the reserve driver. But Fernando Alonso, I'm not saying he's a bad driver, he's a phenomenal driver, but surely a driver with that high of a caliber would have the common sense to not join a back market team. He's got so much talent still, despite his age. He deserves to have another shot at a top-tier team like Red Bull or Ferrari. Actually, I don't think he will actually want to go back to Ferrari, but you get what I mean. Now, in terms of why Fernando left Alpine, it's all got to do with contract negotiations, I think, because there are rumours suggesting that Alpine wanted to give Alonso a 1-year contract extension, but instead he wanted a longer term one, because I think he wants to stay in the sport a bit longer. So Alpine disagreed, and so did Alonso, and that's what led him to look elsewhere and go to Aston Martin. And Alpine, the reason why they only wanted to give Fernando a 1-year contract and probably get rid of him quickly is because they wanted to promote their star driver, Oscar Piastri, who's currently their reserve driver. And I also think it's probably tensions between him and the team, because if you look at this year, there have been many close encounters between him and his teammate Esteban Ocon, Saudi and Hungary. But I think in Saudi, they both they weren't angry with each other, they were happy they were to go close racing. But in the Hungarian GP, Alonso wasn't really happy with Ocon defending. And Fernando wants a much more number one status within the team. We've seen that before, in 2007 when he was teammates with Lewis Hamilton. There were tensions between both, and they were kind of title rivals as well. And then after the season, Alonso went to Renault. The same thing has kind of happened again. Will Lance Stroll beat Fernando Alonso? Most likely not. But you never know, the GOAT could pull off something. Another factor to take in is that I think he was quite unimpressed by Alpine's performance. Last year when he joined back to the sport with Alpine, I think he kind of let it off because, it was the end of the regulations and these new cars were coming in. And we come into 2022 and Alpine are not up there with Ferrari or Red Bull or even Mercedes. Not to mention the amount of reliability issues Alpine have suffered this year. There have been many times where he's been in the points and his car's just died. But they are miles better than Aston Martin at this point, it's much more safer to stay in Alpine than Aston Martin. If you think about it, Alonso's 42. How much longer does he have left in the sport? Because you never know, Alpine could probably make a car that could compete for the title next year. And we all know, once you give Alonso a good car, he'll flourish and fight for the title. And going to a back market team like Aston Martin is not going to bring that into reality. It's one of the main reasons why Vettel decided to retire. Bro wants to fight for podiums and race wins, not for 17th place. It'd be a miracle if they somehow manage to make a competitive car again next year. Money is probably another reason why, because as you know, Lawrence Stroll has deep pockets and is willing to sign a driver like Alonso. It'll be good for PR and sponsors as well. Fernando is collecting all this money just in time for retirement. I mean, you got to get the bag somehow. And in terms of who's going to replace him, there have been many rumours suggesting it's going to be Daniel Ricciardo. I mean, I don't really see that as a likely option because, like, he was there when that team was called Renault and then left for McLaren. It'd be a bit awkward for him to join back. I see Oscar Piastri to be the most likely option. I mean, I think Alpine seemed like they wanted to push Oscar in an F1 seat. Like, he almost got the Alfa Romeo seat instead of Guan Yu Zhou last year. And, yeah, so I think Oscar Piastri will be in Alpine for 2023. That's all I've got to say for today's video. It's a shame that the L plan is going to fail. And, well, let's just hope that Aston Martin can make a competitive car next year. But, yeah, that's all I've got to say. It could be nice if you guys can subscribe. And, yeah, I'll see you guys later. Bye.